absolutely no doubt that the volume of new buy-to-let purchases since April 2016 has fallen off dramatically and stayed low. What we've often seen in the past is that when there's been a major tax change, it has a big impact on the market for 4, 5, 6 months, and then things start to go back to where they were. That hasn't happened this time. I suspect if the only tax change had been the 3% stamp duty surcharge, it probably would have happened. But what's a much bigger concern for a lot of landlords, particularly those who are highly geared, is the income tax changes. And although landlords who are on the ball will be well aware of the impact this is going to have, I suspect there's quite a few who won't appreciate it until they do their tax returns, perhaps in January 2019. So as the tax changes increasingly bite, I think we will see more landlords join those who have already decided to exit the market, perhaps in part. Now, I think there's quite a lot of landlords who've got several properties and have decided to sell perhaps one or two. Equally, the market for purchases is clearly more challenging for the same reason. However, there is of course a way around that, and that is to buy the property in the name of a limited company. So one of the changes we've seen in the mortgage market over the last few years is that quite a lot more lenders now not only offer mortgages to limited companies, but also don't charge a premium rate, whereas you used to have to pay a higher rate. So if you're looking to get into the market, well worthwhile, in fact critical, to take tax advice from your accountant or tax advisor as to the pros and cons of buying through a limited company. You will get very often a better income coverage ratio. You will have a smaller choice of lender, but whichever lender you use, strong likelihood that you won't have to pay a premium over their normal rates. You may still pay a higher rate simply because you won't have quite the same choice of lender. But if the tax changes are important to you, and for anybody who's a high rate taxpayer, they can make a massive difference, then there will be some significant benefits buying through a limited company, and that's why it's important to get tax advice on the pros and cons. The main risk, which I think one can't ignore, is that just as the Chancellor changed the rules a few years ago, the more people buy properties through limited companies, the greater the risk there has to be that he'll change the regime for limited companies. But it's impossible to speculate on whether that's going to happen from an advisor perspective.